Because when it comes to real estate in Africa, it's very tricky. It is sometimes risky. Even following the procedures that are on the ground, you can still go wrong. So, you might be doing everything according to the books, but some policies change, some corruption somewhere, somehow, something delay the work and delay things. So it's not what you think, like bread and butter, nice in Jamaica, when I say soft and nice. No, there are hiccups when it comes to real estate.
That's true.
There might be partners that you trust will stab you. There might be investors who back out. There might be stuff that can happen. Anything can happen that you don't know. But from the outlook, as a person watching on YouTube or watching on your TV screen, you make your own decision or your own judgment based on what you hear. So in 2018, Aon launched a very, very massive project in Senegal, a futuristic city like no other. People were calling it the Wakanda of Africa, but all of a sudden, everything went silent. And a lot of people have been wondering, what the hell is going on with the project in Aon City? Well, in this video today, we will be talking about what could be some of the possible reasons for the postponement on Aon City based on policies and certain regulations in Africa that a lot of people may or may not know about. If that intrigues you, or is that something you're interested in, make sure you watch this video to the last minute. Don't skip it. Welcome to
Queen Jody and AP Uncensored.
And on this podcast, we explore and talk about profitable real estate opportunities here in Africa, starting with the Gambia. So if that interests you, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and invite a friend with you guys. Invite a friend, trust me. These are information that will benefit you because real estate, everybody needs to know about real estate, like seriously.
So.
Right? So yeah, as I said, I am the talkative one, AP. And you're the quiet one.
I'm the low-key one, Queen Jody.
But today I got to talk though. I know today I got to talk. Yes. So guys, to be honest with you, we're not here to bash anyone. Let me put a disclaimer. We're not going to bash nobody in this video. This
is just our views on what we believe is happening.
Exactly. So we are not here to discriminate or anything. This is not what this video is about. What this video is about is to highlight certain things that happen in real estate that a lot of people don't know when it comes to Africa. You understand? To navigate your way toward real estate in Africa as well. So Aon City. You've been doing a lot of research. I see you watching those videos, like the Stephen video. I cannot pronounce his last name.
Stephen did a really good, what's his last name? Unduku.
Yeah.
Stephen, correct us if we're,
we're
wrong, but I think it's Unduku.
Something like that.
Something like that. And he really did a good review on the Aon City, what could possibly go wrong.
Yes.
His narration was great.
It was very beautiful, actually. I watched it myself, every single minute of it.
Yeah.
And he really did justice to the whole story of it. Because what I saw online is that a lot of people were more ready to do character assassination. To say, oh, it's a big scam, and just to get the click, because people like to click on negative things, right?
That's true.
So I like that he went there on the ground and really look into it.
And I like that he also had an interview, because he didn't just went there on the ground. He did an interview. Probably, I don't know if it's him personally go and do the interview, or he got the interview from someone. But I like that the difference, so you get it from the horse's mouth, they would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Aon City was a $6 billion project. My God. $6 billion.
$6 billion.
$6 billion.
And I'm aware that China was funding a part of it.
Yeah, that's what you research here.
Yeah.
So guys, we have our trusty notes here. Based on the research that we did. Queen Jody did most of the research on this video. So shout out to Queen Jody.
Thank you. I tried.
So Aon City was launched on September 2018 and is at the first phase of the project. So it was supposed to be finished in 2016.
No.
Well,
what happened?
What am I saying?
No. They had the launch in 2018, which was around September. And then they were expecting that the first phase of the project would be already finish by 2026.
Okay, 2026.
Which now, if you look at from 2018, the launch, and where we are now, it's what, 2024.
2024. So 2 years from now.
2 years from now, the project should be underway in terms of the first phase.
To be honest with you, to build any phase, 2 years is too short, to be quite honest with you. You don't think so?
Yeah. I mean, I guess they were looking from the start of 2018 to then. But, things transpire.
Yes.
So let's get into that discussion as to what possibly could transpire for the hold-up of the development.
City. I see here where you wrote that he bought the land, which is very good.
Yeah.
So
a lot of conspiracy was going around in regards to whether government gave him the land or he bought the land. So out of his own mouth.
Yes, he said it.
Yeah, he said it out of his own mouth that he bought the land. Right?
Okay, so guys, to be honest with you, when it comes to major projects like this in Africa, it's not as easy as people make it seem there.
But development overall, AP, in any country takes time.
Yes.
From the ground up. Even before you start digging the foundation, there's a lot more work. You have to, depending on the design, you have to look at the engineering work, plumbing work. Everything has to be like...
Feasibility studies.
Yeah, like what he discussed in the interview with Stephen.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff have to be done.
Yes.
So now let's see, AP. What really?
You know what he was saying in the video also, that one of the setback was the pandemic.
Yeah.
In 2018 there was a lot going on back to 2023 or so when it stopped. It was going on for 4 years or so, right?
2020. Okay. 2018. Yes. The
It's
pandemic started
years.
around in the European section, but because for us, we weren't aware of the pandemic in Jamaica until around 2019, late 2019, coming into 2020.
Yes.
And throughout that time was when AP and we relocated to Africa.
Yes.
Around the late 2020, thereabout. So that is when we came to Gambia, Africa. That's when we learned about the Aon City.
Yes.
That was slated to be built.
That was when we learned about it?
Yeah.
I thought I was hearing about that since Jamaica, sir.
You heard about it
yes,
before?
Yes, I was hearing about that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because, he was saying in the video that the pandemic was cause for the setback. And the fact that certain stakeholders and, certain partners, certain solution providers were not available during that time. So, the whole development of the city couldn't really take off. But to be honest with you, it's true because, during that time, everywhere was closed down for true. And, the place was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
It's like nobody wants to come outside because everybody was fearing for their lives and stuff like that. And it really, not just that project per se, but it really set back a lot of, other real estate or other projects that was going on because people were afraid to go outside and afraid to do things. And there are certain laws
with
too.
all the restrictions that were happening during COVID-19, one could understand that could be a true cause for the delay in the construction.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes. So,
and aside from the pandemic, AP, because there's like a domino effect.
Okay.
When a situation like pandemic happened,
yes,
and people get laid off from work, and certain services that were used to be offered, they have to be offered a different way, and everything become new to people these days, right?
That's true.
Because of this whole lockdown thing, and systems change during that time.
That's correct. With
that in mind comes a recession, because by then people were having difficulties with their monies. Whether a bank were holding it,
or people were pulling their money out of the bank.
Exactly.
Fast. Yes.
And loans couldn't be paid at that time if people lose their job.
So basically, if you had investors line up that you want to invest in a major project, those investors will think about their money.
Right.
And they will like, hey, wait, let's see what happened after this thing. And then it's like that. this is very serious, but sometimes when you're reviewing these things, you have to think of real estate with a light heart, because if you don't think of real estate with a light heart, you will go crazy too.
That's so
to be honest with
true.
you,
That's
because
so true.
you will plan everything to the T, but something just and everything just come down like the domino effect, like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah,
all of these things can also be a thing that could set back.
That's true. That's true.
I think I was the one that was talking to you about funding. Another
Yeah.
thing that could really possibly cause the city to be stuck.
But of course,
Yeah.
when I just when we talk about the pandemic and the
Yes.
fact that a recession happened during that time as well, then
Yeah.
funding would be a necessary discussion to have.
Yes,
you know,
people will not give their money to
So easily.
that. No.
Yeah.
And then the banks were really, even now they're still restricting people from taking their money out. If you guys are in overseas, Europe or US, you can comment and let us know.
Yeah.
If what I'm saying is correct, you have to get permission to touch your money.
Your own money, like
Yeah,
seriously.
and you have a limitation to how much of your money you can take out to do what.
And it's
It's really
almost like a
crazy.
limitation of what you can do with your own money as well. Like seriously.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
So that could be another cause for
Yeah.
the setback, the access to money, especially in Africa, because every money that is transferred from the States or Europe to Africa, it get flagged, like there's a red flag on it.
Yeah, especially there's
Yeah.
certain countries.
Yes,
get flagged.
and Senegal is okay. Senegal is very developed, and it's a very beautiful country,
Yeah.
and it have a lot to offer. But when once you say Africa, is like, yo, you have a red flag, pop, that attached
It's
to
true.
it, and let know
Especially certain
this
African
money is
countries.
not going to leave that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say another thing that we realized after doing real estate in Gambia for 4 years now is that policies sometimes can set back
Yeah.
a project,
Yeah.
because government changes,
Over time.
and they change their policies as well,
Right.
to benefit their agenda as a government, and that's what
Right.
they do. All
Right.
governments do that. But when it comes to real estate, policies can also hinder your progress.
Exactly so.
Especially if you're excited about the project and you're like, yo, this project is going to be a big project. Wait till it's finished. You look at the mock-up and you're like, my God, this is awesome. Yes, on this launch.
Yeah.
But you didn't look at the small details. You might say, oh, no problem. After I can talk to this guy, he will make certain things go.
But for me though,
But,
I
you
think
know-
Akon is a very smart man. So I think he really have like those kind of discussions he probably come up with his team with.
You know something? Let me tell you something though.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when it's like a genius, like a person who they can spell big words,
Yeah.
but give them a small word to spell, and you see what happens. It's be like because they're always think. It's like we were talking to this rich man that we know. Yeah, we're not rich people too.
Yeah.
We were talking to him, and
I'm
you
one
know,
of them, by the way.
yeah, no problem. You are very wealthy. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we were talking to him, and he was saying, "No, to be honest with you, AP, I cannot understand how poor people feel." You remember that?
Yeah.
I cannot understand how
And
poor
to be
people
honest
feel.
with you, AP, I can understand
honest
where
with you.
he's coming from, because even if you grow up in a poor community and you experience what it was like to feel poor or whatever, at the end of the day, when you bring yourself up to a certain level and you're living a certain lifestyle, you forget, like,
That's what I'm
you're
telling you
gonna
now.
forget like the pain of what it felt like down there, because you're not feeling that pain anymore.
That's what I'm saying to you now.
So your level of thinking
it's different.
different.
So go back to what the government policies, and you saying that Akon is a smart man. It don't mean anything, because he can be smart, yes, but the small things can slip past him.
Well,
If you're
that's
looking at
true.
one point of the picture, you might miss the small details, and that can
Understand,
also be a
understand.
setback.
And
Like I
in-
was saying, like in Gambia here, you have a lot of laws and a lot of policies that might hinder you from doing a development on a piece of land. There are certain checks that you must do on a land before you even think about putting a certain estate on the
Yeah,
land. Check the
yeah.
soil type. Can the building structure that you're putting on the land, can the land withstand that weight? What kind of property can you do here? Is it just agriculture straight, because the water level and there's so many things.
So many things.
You know?
Yeah, you're right, AP. I mean, like, when you also talk about government policies,
Yes.
no, look at the duration from 2018 to like 2026,
That's
when they're
around
supposed to
4 years.
actually finish the
That's more than 4 years, huh?
2018, 2019,
2019,
2020. 2018, 2019,
2020,
2020,
2021,
2021,
2020, coming up,
22, 23,
2023,
24.
2024.
Wow, this is like
2024 is 7 years, so it's
seven
8
years
years.
now.
So it would have been
So,
8 years.
yeah,
2026 would be 8 years.
2026 would have been 8 years.
Yes.
So, you know, governments tend to change like within 4 years.
4 years.
So, if that government is changed within 4 years, even if your development was passed, there's a likely chance that if a new government come in place, that can also affect your development.
It. So, guys, we're looking at the why Aon City was possibly paused or postponed, right?
Yeah.
Right? We're not saying that this is exactly what happened, but based on what we see after exploring real estate here in the Gambia, these are some of the reasons why a project will, pause. And one of the major one is community dispute. Like dispute.
Yeah. Community disputes can affect development as well.
Yes.
I am not quite certain. I didn't get much data on that when it comes to the community dispute in regards to Aon City. But at one point, I was hearing, I don't know how true it is, but at one point I was hearing that because the persons in that area weren't in agreement, or there was some discussion around that by the community, it also set back the development.
Okay. So because
if you know, if you are aware of that, then you can let us know.
Comment and let us know down.
That's a good while now. I heard about that.
You know, community dispute is big across Africa. Community dispute is big across Africa because, most of African lands, or all of African lands, are customary lands before the British and certain colonizers come into play and really start to put their own laws in order to claim and own the lands for life. Like freehold is not a land title that was originally there. Everything was customary owned or indigenously owned by the people who were first on the land that these people come and see there. You understand? So people used to just, it's community. So your father, your mother get together, have you go and find another wife, have kids. Those kids inherit the lands that your people went and live on for a certain number of years, right? So what happened is those are the people that are now selling their lands to other people to come and live on. So there might be a certain dispute between the families that say, okay, you know what happened me? I don't agree with selling this land for these purposes here, while this one is saying I agree. And this one that agree will go and sell the lands without the ones that agree. And then you find, say, bam, clash, all kind of stuff start happening. And then now you, the investor who put your money inside there, you don't stand a chance because guess what? The court is going to rule in the favor of the family all the time. I'm sorry, it's like that. So we don't know.
Majority of the time, not all.
Well, it depends on the nature of the purchase. How was it purchased? Was there a contract in place? What process of was done in terms of the purchasing and stuff like that. So,
I mean, a quick example of like community disputes would be like, for example, the other day in Gambia, the youth stood up. They went to court in regards to a particular land that was sold in their community. Yeah. When, I don't know if it was to a developer or what.
It was to a developer.
To a developer. Yeah. As they said that the Alcala was the one who sold the land.
Yes.
Or give or allow whomever to sell the land, and that land was not a land for sale. You understand? So in that regards, that's an example of a community dispute. You know.
No, I agree with you because that I think that land was a cemetery. Like it was a cemetery. Not every land is for sale. You don't have to. Not every land you should cut and sell it. To be quite honest with you, try and reserve some of the lands. Is good. You understand?
But AP, even outside of like for example, family owning the land. government can also want a development taking place somewhere or pass a development somewhere, but the community members,
Yes.
after hearing what is going to take place there, they also
They say
think
they don't
about
want
their
it.
safety or things like that. So they will say, because that happened in Jamaica as well.
I know.
With the bauxite, you remember?
Yes.
So
It start to go into people's place, causing dust, making people sick. I know.
yeah.
I know. The next thing that can possibly delay, speaking of dust, if you're coming to Africa, you're not coming to Africa and you are interested in investing in real estate in Africa, please visit www.dirttogoldclub.com. Why do you need to visit www.dirttogoldclub.com? Well, dirttogoldclub.com is a community of investors who are seriously committed to investing in vacant land, especially in the Gambia, to monetize it, right? So right now we're looking at monetizing through agricultural lands or agricultural purposes. But if you want to buy and sell the land back, we also help investors with these kind of strategies, and all of the experience and knowledge that we have over the 4 years, we put it together and assist them to achieve what they want. So if you're thinking of going into this direction, you're not just thinking of buying a piece of land and put it down and don't do anything with it, then visit www.dirttogoldclub.com. Talk to us. We're here for you, okay? So
thank you, AP, for that.
Yes, I've tried.
Me, I love your sexy voice.
Thank you very much. Oh my God. We're doing a podcast. So
yes, of course.
Civil engineer, construction team. I think you see her write down a lot of stuff. These are some of the reasons why this could have, stopped the progress of that. Because, it's around the pandemic time. So civil engineer and these people, nobody was coming outside to do anything,
Right.
And so
to be honest with you, when I look at the design of the city, and to me, a normal, regular, local may not be expert in building something like that.
But was he going to use local? Well, that's what
I'm just
they
saying.
said. They say that was going to provide how many thousands of jobs, but were
But
those
I don't
people
think
qualified?
providing thousands of jobs meant hiring them as developers or construction.
Like laborers.
Yeah, maybe laborers.
Okay.
But for you to bring off a design like this or an architecture, let me use that word for a better use.
Yeah. But design is
architecture
nice.
like this, you need engineers and what you call those people again, the contractors that understand the design and understand the material that you need to bring off the design.
Yes.
And the whole functionality of the spaces that is to be built.
The funniest thing is also, though, as you are correct, is that in the same video that we were watching, he went there and he only saw one structure on the land. Right. And that one structure that he saw on the land was somehow similar to what we saw in that, 3D model of the city. And, it could have been possible, I think, if there wasn't something that was delaying that project, in real estate. Guys, to be honest with you, real estate in Africa is not easy, especially if you're building near water. Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's the sea or the river. If you're building near water, you and the government might have a problem because governments, they see these lands as prime lands for them. They want to keep these lands. So the more inland
for their tourism
you are,
developments,
the more inland you are, the better.
That's true.
When it comes to that, you just speak of lack of material. Based on the 3D module that I saw, everything was futuristic. So it's like, where are you going to even find these type of materials to put there? It's one thing to design a city, but it's another thing to build the city. Because on the digital layout of the city, you can make it look any way you want. You can even put wings on it, flying cars.
That's true.
And that's what you want in a dream world kind of approach. But in a physical world, do you even have the material to do it? Has this city ever been built anywhere? What feasibility studies was done in a city like this to say, yes, this material, I can find it in South Africa or Nigeria or Ghana? Because you have to think about how close you have to go to find these kind of materials to build a city.
I like how you say that, AP, because during the interview with Aon,
yes,
he mentioned that they were actually in feasibility and environmental studies.
Yeah, I don't see that part in here, so but okay.
So yeah, it's there.
Okay.
So from 2018, right?
Oh yeah, I see now.
And he said, in order for them to do the feasibility and the environmental studies, they would have to be on the ground. So now you know that during the time when pandemic was there, in 2018 up to 2020, we just kind of come out of it, right?
Yes.
You understand?
Exactly.
So that time, people were not being able to traverse as they would want.
That's true.
So those persons that they probably had for doing the feasibility studies and the environmental studies could not show up until now. So that gonna take them some time. You understand? To be honest with you, before even groundbreaking, right? Like before you even buy the land and say you're gonna do a feasibility, you understand? Before you buy the land to say you're gonna do that development there.
Yeah.
I think a feasibility study should have done before that.
Yeah, feasibility study should be done before anything.
You could go to the area, check the soil type of the area before, find out from an engineer, like if I wanted to build a city like this, in an area like this, what materials is suitable for me to use, how do I design it so that the weather, because you also have to think of the weather, how it's gonna affect the whole construction and stuff like that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Would you say that a city like this was unrealistic? Like, would you say that it was an unrealistic idea that to build something like this, a glassy city, is it?
No, I don't think it was unrealistic because I've seen some real construction done that to you will only see in a painting, if anything. Right? You'll be like, oh, this is just a painting or a picture. But in reality, you're looking at the building yourself and like, oh, it's actually real. You understand? So I'm not gonna say this city was unrealistic. Maybe the type of material, because what we are seeing on the ground, what Stephen saw on the ground was like concrete structure.
Yes.
So was concrete really a great idea for the design that we saw, the architect that we saw? Because what I saw, like in the 3D AutoCAD, you would say, I'm thinking that type of building material is not existing.
Yes, but the concrete, it was possible to do it still, because that small thing that was built and left there, it wasn't bad. What they could use is maybe some glass, maybe some, original African copper or some. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, find a way to make it come out.
With you,
use mud, use ram hurt, something.
Okay, no, wait.
Anything.
Wait, let me get to a point here because, like, what I saw. To be honest with you, I saw a lot of like that like the design in waves.
That's what I'm telling you.
From the ocean or whatever.
Yes.
So some of those structures, to be honest, I'm not seeing concrete.
You're seeing mud.
I'm seeing something else other than
ram
concrete.
earth.
Maybe ram earth, maybe I don't know, but not concrete. Because to form that out the way how they have it.
I think ram earth. I think using the traditional African building style would have been ideal for something like this. And some people might laugh and say, "Epi, what are you talking about?" First thing, it would have been more affordable. You would need less money to build something like that, and it would actually be freaking awesome to see an entire city built from a traditional standpoint instead of this futuristic traditional standpoint instead of a glassy type, because Africa, when it comes to Africa, Africans are walking away, are throwing away their traditions to try and fit in with the rest of the world. You understand? I think a more mud type is good. I like it. I don't know what to say about you. If you guys like it, comment and let us know, sir.
I dig the idea, but I think it also could be modernized. Remember?
Yeah, but what is modernized? What is modernized?
When I say modernized, because you're saying glossy, I mean, it still can be glossy with mud.
Yes, I didn't say. That's what I said.
Okay.
If you use the mud, right, and you can add some of the features that are going to make it look like popping. You say it's not plain and there is some style to it.
Understand.
Then you can do that. It's just a matter of mixing the trendy with the tradition and come up with something fresh. You understand? Not necessarily jumping straight towards something that is out there already or something that, because I've never seen a city like that anywhere.
It's
You
Wakanda
understand?
now.
But
You
I'm
didn't
not
see it in the movie.
in the movies. That's movies. But and I'm not saying that it wasn't a good idea. For me, if I was to have access to that kind of money, $6 billion. That's too much. I don't need. Well, I need 6 billion because I'm going to build like several of these. But I would build micro cities. That's what I would do. I would build micro cities and make my name. Learn the industry properly because I don't know nothing about it. If I were in, his shoes, learn the industry properly. Do some micro cities. Grow, grow, grow. After 10, 20 years, then when I know I have the right team of people, when I know who I need to talk to within governments and how to make my building structure or everything go according to government policies, then I can challenge something like that. But to come out the gate,
You
like
think
the first
that
thing,
huge
boom.
development was not within his reach at this
It was
point
not.
in
It was
time?
not within his reach at that time. That was a massive city with a futuristic design with materials that I'm not saying he don't have. I'm not saying that this is not about what I think. It's just an opinion.
Okay,
You
well,
understand?
in my opinion,
Yes, in your opinion.
Chinese could pull that off.
No, no. These people. You're talking about a superpower. You're talking about a country that have everything.
Yeah.
They have everything. They make everything. So they could build the material to
Maybe
do
they
that.
are actually doing it right now. It's
That's
just
what
that
I said. I don't know.
those things don't come over to Senegal yet. Like, for example, as we talk about the lack of material, AP.
Yes.
If China was building those material, they're gonna build everything one time and just ship it.
Yes, but if that were the case, wouldn't that be advertised to the public so to the public can calm down? Like people who are worried that it was a big scam or whatever, they would say, "Oh wait, the Chinese are building the material. That's why it's taking time."
No, AP, but then
Wouldn't
again,
that be announced?
no, you have to look at it from the African standpoint.
What is it?
That before you even get certain things done, you shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Keep
understand? So
hush,
maybe
move in silence.
yes,
Vibes.
he wants everybody to know he's gonna build a city, but you don't want everybody to know that it's China helping him with
But to be quite honest, in a
the
in a
structures.
point like this right now, where the world is looking and saying it's bad, this, that, you don't have a choice. You have to play your cards right now. You don't have the luxury of holding your cards like this. If people went on the site physically and saw like 20 buildings
You
up,
went on the site?
No.
Oh, you mean on the ground?
if
the
people
ground.
went there in Senegal and saw 20, 30 buildings, 50 buildings on the ground, no, people would say, oh, yeah, something is happening here. You go, you see one small structure, nothing else. Then people are
Maybe
going
they were
to say,
doing the
"Nakala?
feasibility study. You don't
How
understand.
far?" No, but don't give a
Because-
date. All right, wait. Let me explain something to you. Don't give a date, and then don't show up with the date. That's why that's what people use.
But they're saying they have
to
2 more
brand
years.
you. No, that's what people use to brand you and call your names. If you start in 2018, for example, and
The
I'm just
launch.
playing advocate here because we don't deal with devil stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm just playing the opposite advocate here. If you announce in 2018 that you're going to be building this futuristic city that is going to have all of these luxurious things with flying cars and shit like that, if there was flying car, right? And then in 2020, you're saying, well, things are kind of, slow somehow. 2023. In 2023, it's like, in 2026. Now, 2 years before 2026, still, it's just one small structure on the ground. So you are not clear with the client, the people that you're trying to serve.
No, I
That's
forget
not
to
being
check
clear.
if that was a recent video.
No, but the
But-
date is the date.
But because in that interview, he said they were working on stuff in 2023. Now it's 2024. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe if we go back to the site like right now,
But
we would
Steven
see
just went there. It was just last month. He just now went there. on the ground now and only see one structure, you're not following me. You see, just comment below and tell me if you agree with me or not, guys.
No, I get you.
If you go on the structure, if you're
Yeah.
watching on YouTube, comment please. If you if you go on the ground, and when you go on the ground you see 50, 100 buildings. Well, let's go down with it. 10 buildings there. Then you could say, wow, something was happening here. Then something else must be the problem. But you go on the ground and you don't see nothing but one small thing. Then people are going to start to talk and think.
No, I understand. I understand.
Now, from the standpoint of the futuristic city, if it was possible or was it not possible, of course it was possible with the right partners, with the right investors, with the right engineers, the right and construction team.
Yeah.
You know, of course you could pull it off over another, like that size city. You're talking around 10, 20 years possibly. You have to plan.
But at least for the first phase, as he said.
The first phase is going to take time too. Because the material, has there been any city built with those materials before?
That's true.
And what is the durability of those material and the city? You understand what I'm saying? With the African climate and the African weather, can it withstand the sun? Can it withstand the heavy rains that comes during the rainy season? And the salt.
Yeah, because
can it withstand that? You understand? So these are all these things. You have to test those materials, make sure that they're good. If it's a new type of material that you're using, and it's not concrete, and it's not the African traditional building with mud, then what are you talking about?
But AP, you know, I love this discussion, by the way, guys. And if you are actually loving this discussion with us, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more discussion like this, all right?
Yes, it.
So, AP, in my understanding and from our own experience, one building alone can take a certain time to build.
Sometimes 6 months.
1 year.
1 year.
And so, okay, from 2018 to now 2024, that's quote unquote, if you're counting the buildings, then you would be having like one building going up every year.
Depending on your team.
But if you're having the right team,
numbers.
you can
it's numbers.
Yeah.
You just have, you know, in when you're doing building construction, you will have like a massive project. Like look at Tough. Tough is building out cities across Nigeria, Gambia, all these places.
And Sierra Leone.
You understand? He's not there all the time. He is the boss. But under him, he have other contractors that are on the ground that are overseeing the laborers. Because laborers are not the same as the contractors.
Understand.
Some contractors get their hands dirty while some don't. Right? So if you have 10 contractors to 500 laborers or 1,000 laborers, then you can build more than one structure. So
at a time.
If it's going to take you 1 year to build one apartment building, like two bedroom, one up down, one down, then that one contractor will oversee more than 20, 30 laborers.
That's true. So they could be overseen more than one structure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that
multiple
point.
projects, multiple units could be built in that 1 year because
that's true.
of how you outline your team.
That's true.
To get the results.
But then maybe it's because it's using locals then. Because
no, there was nothing going on there from what I see from the video. And we're just going by the video. From the video, there was nothing on the ground that was going on. And that's why we say
not
maybe.
Even a fencing.
Nothing. So that's why, you see, not even a fencing. So maybe that's why we come from the standpoint and say, maybe these are the reasons why nothing was in the ground yet. Nothing was in the ground yet. And what's my advice? What is your advice to other investors / developers who might be thinking of saying, yo, you know what? I want to build out a city in Africa. Is it feasible? And they look and they see this Aon story. They're like, I don't know if I should bother to do that. All right, I want to do it, but should I do it? My advice would be start small. Don't even try Tough level. Tough has been doing this for a long time. He knows things that you probably don't know.
I would say AP, unless like you have some engineers and architects and contractors that like are experienced and they already have big pocket people that they can work with to do developments. And if they already know the terrain of Africa, then it's a go for me.
Yes,
but if you are new to this whole development in Africa, then
Yeah.
I would say take your time.
It depends on the country too, because some countries, the laws and policies allow you as a foreign investor to really explore and expand yourself within real estate.
Yeah.
Countries like Rwanda, South Africa,
Yeah.
maybe Nigeria, Ghana, these
Botswana and those
Uganda
countries.
possibly.
Yeah.
There's so much countries in Africa's, there's more than one Africa, that allow you to exercise your investment muscles.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? But a place like some West African country or some other countries in Africa that may have tighter, stricter policies, and it's not going to be beneficial if you should go to that level. So you start with maybe 1-2 units there, and then you see from those 1-2 units, if everything is successful, then you try 4 units. From those 4 units, if they're successful, then you try 8 units.
Yeah.
From those 8 units, if they're successful, then you try 2 8s, 16 units. And you work it out like that.
Yeah, you work your way like that.
So you don't just go boom, big communities, bam, yeah, these people are going to come and buy. Unless the country allows you to do that in terms of policies,
Yeah.
then okay. It's not about deep pockets anymore after that. It's about the laws of the land in that sense.
Okay.
So did Aon did something bad? Me, I don't know.
I don't blame a man for dreaming big, sir.
And I love
You
that
know?
massive step. You have to be a real man to make a massive
You was
step
a risk taker.
to do that. Business is about taking risk, and sometimes it's going to pay off, sometimes it's not going to pay off. Let's
That's
hope.
true.
Within,
And have the city not being built, AP, does that make like the person who quote unquote put it out there that he's going to build it a scammer?
No, it's not about that. That's why I was going to say, let's hope in 2026 at least you see something going on the ground
Yeah.
that can make people feel good, that okay, maybe it was this, that's why. Maybe it was this, that's why. You will actually hear the real reason why it was
Yeah.
delayed, because there's no more pandemic, so there's no more discussion about pandemic.
Yeah.
So now it's just a matter of time.
But
Yeah.
AP, aside from that, say for example, it doesn't happen like any at all. That still doesn't make the person a scammer. It can just be a failed project.
Yes, that's what I'm saying now.
So that a failed project doesn't mean a person is a scammer.
That's why I said it's just a matter of time, because people are just going to speculate until time. Only
No,
time
I
will show that.
understand. I
Only time will
understand.
tell what it was. We don't know. But what we wanted to do with this video, guys, is to just bring a perspective that
Yeah.
it could be something else outside of scamming that people are running with in the streets. It could be anything that has been happening behind the doors that you don't know about. Because when it
That's
comes to
true.
real estate in Africa, it's very tricky. It is sometimes risky. Even following the procedures that are on the ground, you can still go wrong. So,
Yes.
you might be doing everything according to the books, but some policies
Somehow
change,
still- yeah.
some corruption somewhere, somehow, something delay the work and delay things. So it's not what you think, like bread and butter, nice in Jamaica, when I say soft and nice. No, there are hiccups when it comes to real estate.
That's true.
There might be partners that you trust will stab you. There might be investors who back out. There
Yeah.
might be stuff that can happen. Anything can happen that you don't know. But from the outlook, as a person watching on YouTube or watching on your TV screen,
Yeah.
you make your own decision or your own judgment based on what you hear. And you say, oh my God, that's why I don't trust. That's why I don't like. But you don't
Yeah.
really know
You don't
until you
know.
actually come and get your hands dirty.
That's true.
So we hope this video shed some light on what could have possibly happened with Aon City.
and any other city
And
that was
any
supposed
other
to be
city.
developed that is not yet developed.
Exactly. Any other city that we don't know about yet. But we are on the journey exploring real estate opportunities in Africa and sharing them with you. So guys,
Yes.
make sure you share this video with someone, share this podcast episode with someone, invite them, subscribe. Thank you guys for the support and love. We love you. And you guys are giving us the energy and the passion and the drive to push forward with this podcast, exploring real estate, sharing them with you. This is something that we love to do. Yeah, so we are here. And make sure to visit www.daretogoclub.com and book a consultation. We want to hear from you if you're serious about monetizing, investing in and monetize real estate in Africa. Until the next video, Queen Jody!
Yeah.